open, like cut a line through a room I forgot. Cardboard crease with a year on the side, handwriting crooked, a name that I was. Ticket stubs, faded a wristband from summer. I read it like time, got a language in us. You call it nostalgia, I call it a mirror, the kind that reflect what you kept and what lost. Photo of friends on the curb after midnight, cheap pizza boxes, a laugh you could hear. I used to think life was a ladder of levels, now it feel more like a loop through the years. You say it was simple, I say it was honest, the kind that don't hide what you hold or you fear. I held it too tight, then I left it behind. Now both of those choices still live with me here. Don't box it up like it don't exist. Time don't fade, it just shifts the script. Don't box it up like it don't exist. What you don't fade still shape what's next. I fill with ideas in pencil, half-finished thoughts that I swore I'd pursue. Margins got crowded with plans I postponed. I read it like someone I almost grew to. You call it back then, I call it a signal, the version of me that I never walked through. I thought I outgrew it, but really I shelved it. The dream didn't die, it just waited in view. I found an old key with no door that I know held it and felt like it still had a use. Memories don't just remind you of moments, they show you the past that you chose to refuse. You think it's about what you left in the past, it's more about what you still carry as truth. Some things don't fade, they sit in the background till one quiet moment bring them to you. Don't box it up like it don't exist. Time don't fade, it just shifts the script. Don't box it up like it don't exist. What you don't fade still shape what's next. I closed up the box, but I didn't just store it. I took what was real and I placed it in reach. It wasn't about going back to that version, it's what that version was trying to teach. You think it's a past that you leave when you change, but parts of it following how you believe. The things that you bury don't stop being seeds that wait for a moment to finally breathe. I didn't forget who I was, I just filed them away until truth needed proof of what I could still be. I walk down the steps with the dust on my hands, but clearer in ways I ain't been in a while. No need for a speech, no need for a witness, just something inside me reset to a dial. You measuring distance from who you once were, I'm measuring how you align with the child. Some growth don't look like you leaving it all, it look like remembering what made you worthwhile. Don't box it up like it don't exist. Time don't fade, it just shifts the script. Don't box it up like it don't exist. What you don't fade still shape what's next. Just on the box. Truth and lift. I kept what fit. Elevator home, 27 floors. Key card won't scan, I tap it again. Glass doors reflecting the version I wore. Name on the lobby list printed in bold, but weight in my chest like it don't fit no more. Yeah. You call it success when the title look right, I call it a question I can't ignore. If I gotta play who I'm not just to stay, Then what did I climb all this height for? Office lights buzz, the desk still warm. I'm staring at emails I used to defend. Language so polished it how would it mean? Like truth get diluted in words that pretend. You say it's the role, I say it's the cost. Difference between what you earn and what you spend. I stayed for the check, but I checked out inside. Now numbers don't add when they cancel the self at the end. Looks like I made it. Feels like I did it. Name on the door, but I don't feel in it. Looks like I made it. Looks like I made it. Feels like I did it. Climb to the top, just a question. Meetings in circles, we talking in layers. Decisions get buried in jargon and tone. You call it alignment, I call it avoidance. The kind that keep moving but never get shown. I watched how I shifted to fit in the frame. Laughed at the jokes that I didn't condone. You needed approval, I needed permission. Difference between what is yours and what's loan. Lunch in the corner, review with the city. I used to think hype meant control of the map, but distance from ground don't guarantee clarity. Sometimes it blurred what you thought you could grasp. I thought it was growth when the title got longer, but growth got a way of confronting the act of building a life that looked good from a distance, but empty in places you can't overlap. Looks like I made it. Looks like I made it. I did it. Name on the door, but I don't feel in it. Looks like I made it. Looks like I made it. Feels like I did it. Climb to the top, just a question, the limit. Hey. I stood in the mirror inside of the restroom, tied slightly off like the truth trying to show. It wasn't the job, it was me in the role. How far I had drifted from what I should know. You think it's a leap when you finally step out. It's more like a return to a version you owe. The one that don't trade what you offer with title. The one that don't stay just because you can go. I didn't quit the position, I quit pretending the person I became. There was someone I wanted to grow. I cleared off the desk with a calm kind of focus. No speech, no dramatic display. You measure in status, I measure in truth. The kind that don't shift us because of the pay. No need for applause when the weight feel lifted. When steps feel honest in every way. Some wins don't look like a rise on the chart, but feel like yourself when you walk away. Looks like I made it. Looks like I made it. Feels like I did it. Name on the door, but I don't feel in it. Looks like I made it. Looks like I made it. Feels like I did it. Climb to the top, just a question, the limit. Badge on the desk, me at the door. Finally alone. Elevator hum, 27 floors. Midnight out, barcode Blue light on cereal, labels like riddles. I'm reading the fine print I used to ignore. You say it's a deal, I say it's a story. What looks like a save can be costing you more. Car with a wobble, one wheel always drifting. I got it straight down every polished floor. I learned how to check what's behind the promotion. If it's built to distract, it ain't built to endure. In-cap displays like they set up a stage. Bright colors performing to pull at the hand. You talk about value, I talk about habits. The ones that get coded in how you demand. I skip what is loud, I scan what is needed. Keep list in my head like a plan and a plan. You chase every limit, did I limit what's entering? Difference between who consume and who can. Cheap on the tag, expensive in time. Flash in the cart, but a drain on the mind. Cheap on the tag, expensive in time. What looked like a win can be losing you twice. Receipts start to grow like a scroll of decisions. Each line got a weight that you don't always see. You call it a tree, I call it a pattern, the kind that repeat till it shape who you be. I read the ingredients, words I can't pronounce. If I can't say the name, it ain't meant to be me. You follow the owl, I follow intention. What goes in the body go on to agree. Music and speakers, it soften the edges, make choices feel lighter than what they become. I move with a purpose, no impulse purchases. The quiet discipline louder than drums. You talk about later, I talk about daily. The small things you pick is what everything sums. I left with a basket that felt like a decision, not just what I grab while I'm chasing the rush. Cheap on the tag, expensive in time. Flash in the cart, but a drain on the mind. Cheap on the tag, expensive in time. What looked like a win can be losing you twice. Hey, I used to fill gaps with whatever was easy, confused being full with being aligned. I learned how to choose what deserves my attention. Not everything bright need a place in my life. You think it's about what you pay at the counter, it's more about what you keep feeding inside. The habits you stack, the signals you send, what you buy in the moment you live in the night. I didn't get disciplined at the register, I got disciplined deciding what never deserved to get rang in my life. I walked out lighter than what I came in with, not just in bags, but the weight that I choose. No need for a flex, no need for a post. The quiet control is the proof that I use. You chase every deal, I deal with my choices. The difference between what you gain and what you lose. Some wins don't look like a cart full of items, they look like the things you refuse. Cheap on the tag, expensive in time. Flash in the cart, but a drain on the mind. Cheap on the tag, expensive in time. What looked like a win can be losing you twice. Not everything on sale is worth the cost. Terminal gate, boarding soon. Terminal gate, boarding soon. Suitcase, half pack, shirts folded tight. I'm weighing what matter against what I keep. Tag on the handle with a name I outgrew, like proof of a version I'm leaving asleep. You say it's a move, I say it's a measure. What you willing to drop just to travel this deep? I checked every pocket for reasons to stay, but found they was lighter than risks I could reap. Announcements echo, the speaker distort like choices get blurred when they said over time. You call it a maybe, I call it avoidance, the kind that feels safe but be costing you climb. I stood at the counter with one final chance to turn back the ticket and flatten the line, but fear had a voice I've been hearing for years. I lowered it down till it fell out of mine. Board the flight, don't wait for a sign. Close that door, leave doubt on the line. Board the flight, won't feel like fine. Window seat view, the runway stretched long, like everything leading to where I decide. You talk about comfort, I talk about distance, the gap that you cross when you stop trying to hide. I thought about people who wanted me steady, the version of me that would never divide. But staying the same is a quiet surrender, the kind that looks safe but be eaten inside. Turbulence hit and the cabin got still. I felt it in bones but I stayed in my breath. You call it a warning, I call it a process. What shakes you a little ain't meaning it's death. I looked at the map as the past started shifting. No straight line exists when you step into depth. You wanted a guarantee, I wanted a chance. The difference between what you hold and what's left. Board the flight, don't wait for a sign. Close that door, leave doubt on the line. Board the flight, don't wait for a sign. If it feel like growth, it won't feel like fine. Landing lights low as the city get close. I'm seeing it different than how I imagined. It wasn't the place, it was who I became. The shift that occurred when I finally acted. You think it's arrival that changed you the most. It's really the moment you choose to detach it from all of the versions that kept you contained. The ones you outgrow when you stop letting pass it. I didn't find myself on the journey, I became someone new the second I stopped asking permission to start it. I walked off the plane with a quieter mind. No need for applause or a headline to prove. You measure in outcomes, I measure in courage. The kind that don't show but still shape how you move. No need for a speech, no need for a crowd. The change in my steps is the evidence. You someone's don't look loud when you step off the flight, but feel like a life that you finally choose. Don't wait for a sign. Close that door, leave doubt on the line. Board the flight, don't wait for a sign. If it feel like growth, it won't feel like fine. Get closer, I didn't miss it, I chose it. Same desk, new deadline. Same desk, new deadline. Yeah. Email at 2 with the subject revisions. Red marks in the margins like lines on a map. Notes say not there yet. I stare at the screen like it's daring me not to react. You call it rejection, I call it direction. What sting in the moment can sharpen the craft. I printed the draft, spread pages like blueprints, then circled the parts that I rushed just to pass. Coffee went cold while I rewrote the sentence, then rewrote the rhythm to tighten the scheme. You look for approval, I look for precision. The difference between what you show and what's clean. They question the angle, I doubled the angle, then cut what was clever but hurting the theme. I learned how to kill what I love for the record. If it don't serve truth, it don't serve the dream. Cut it, refine it, return with a better. No need for a rush if it don't last forever. Cut it, refine it, return with a better. Pressure make polish when patience apply it. Comments in threads like a room full of mirrors, each one reflecting a flaw I could fix. You call it critique, I call it a compass, pointing the gaps that I'm paid to admit. I swapped out the lines that were loud but empty, replaced them with details that actually stick. I tightened the cadence, aligned every section, now every bar carry weight when it hit. deadline approaching, the clock getting louder. I'm pacing the floor with a plan in my hand. You panic and post, I edit and focus. The difference between what is noise and what stand. I studied the note about tone and consistent, then rewrote the voice till it fit with the plane. Consistency build like reps in the gym. Small sets done right make the strongest the brands. Cut it, refine it, return with a better. No need for a rush if it don't last forever. Cut it, refine it, return with a better. Pressure make polish when patience apply it. I used to take notes like a hit to my ego, defend every line like it's part of my name. Now I take notes like a route to a level. What bruise you at first can be fuel for the flame. They don't see the drafts that I buried at midnight, the versions I scrapped just to raise up the frame. Growth ain't dramatic, it's quiet, a method. Decisions repeated till better is plain. I didn't get better from praise, I got better from edits that forced me to face what I hid in the name of the game. I learned every note, got a note in the margin, a key if you read it instead of complain. You wanted it quick, I wanted it right. Difference between what is viral and what will remain. No need for applause when the work feel aligned. When quality speak, it don't need to explain. Some wins look like drafts to the outside world, but feel like a standard you'll never untrain.